Hey y'all, and welcome to Shade and the City. It is your girl Treese here, and I am here to give you none other than the Beyond the Gates. This is Monday's episode, or today's episode rather. So happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully everybody has had a good start to their week. If not, hopefully this will bring you up as we go beyond the gates. Okay. So yeah, y'all, I appreciate you being here, supporting us. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit that like button and make sure that you're subscribed as well. Also, make sure your notification bells are on. Me and Nels are planning to knock out Real Housewives of Atlanta tonight, as well as Family or Fiance. So make sure you're on the lookout for those recaps as well. And I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I watched this live. So if there is anything that I miss, any important pieces, not little stuff, unless it's important, unless it's a nugget, I welcome you, viewers, subscribers, audience, to drop in the comments and just let me know if I missed anything. Because again, I couldn't stop it and take my little notes, and I was just going, because I got to go to my baby's soccer practice this evening. So I wanted to get this out to you before I did that. So yeah, y'all, let's get into it. Let's go beyond the gates and let's get shady. All right, so we left off last week. Jacob has come to deliver the news that basically Bill contacted the state attorney, and he wants Danny arrested. So, and because of the video and all these other things, I guess the public outcry, but we all know it's really just Bill outcrying. It ain't really no public, nobody really gives a damn about Bill. But anyway, so we see Naomi. She's trying to get in touch with her father, obviously Bill. But of course, he's not answering the phone. So Jacob basically said that, he's there because he wanted to handle things discreetly. And he figured basically, since they were family, he was the best person for the job, which obviously Naomi does not see it that same way. And neither do any of the other Duprees. And then Naomi also has to remind him, like, okay, so when I was on the phone with you earlier, and basically you told me that, I'm your wife before you're a cop, basically. And so, yeah, obviously we know that went out the window because we done spent 4 or 5 episodes at this point seeing him just really be so in disarray because he can't act, or he didn't act on it. And I was just so overseeing that. So I'm just happy that he finally did something. Can I be honest? I don't like it. I'm happy he finally did something so we can stop agonizing over it. Okay. So Vernon finally agrees that, Danny should go in. And so, basically hold her head high. And so Naomi lets her husband know that, look, she is representing her mother. And before he takes Danny away, Nicole lets him know that she will never forgive him for this bullshit. And I said, well, I guess somebody got to do the job. You know what I'm saying? So then we see Bill. He's leaving Uptown, and he makes a call to somebody named Kim. But we learn later on in the episode that Kim is actually a reporter for the Washington Sleuth or something like that. And so he gives her a tip and a heads up that basically somebody that's beyond the gates, aka one of the Duprees, will soon be getting arrested. And gives her a little lead. Okay. So then we see Les, who is just putting on an Oscar-winning performance on this rooftop. Okay. She said, actually, I should say Emmys. Let's see if they get nominated for one, right? But yeah, she's putting on a show on this rooftop, and Ted is trying to call Nicole. And so basically, Nicole is trying to concentrate on Les, so she's ignoring him. And so she's trying to talk calmly to this crazy lady. That's literally what my notes say, to this crazy lady. She doesn't know how they're connected, though. And I was back to Really B's point, if this is one of your patients, but then I like how they did this. If y'all watching, I'm just saying, just let us know that. But no, I'm just kidding. Um, so Les tells her that yeah, she's seen her in magazines and she's like this world renowned psychiatrist. So basically that's how she heard about it. So that answers, or at least fills in that hole for us, right? And so basically, she's begging for Nicole's help. And so Nicole asks Les for her name. And now we got an alter ego, and her name is Sherry. Okay. So Les starts, I feel like someone else. Was it One Life to Live that somebody had an alter ego? I'm not sure. If y'all know who I'm talking about, please let me know. I want to say, was it Blair? I might be reaching. I know one of y'all and that's watching in these comments. Drop in the comments and let me know who I'm talking about. But I think if you were so paid, I think you know who I'm talking or trying to think about. Okay. So Les starts to go on about Nicole's red bottoms and how much they cost and how could I afford your help? And Nicole lets her know this was completely free. This is on me. I just need you to get off the edge of the edge of the building, okay? And so Les lies and tells her that she lost her husband about 6 months ago, and she's lost herself behind it. Now we all, like Nicole, assume that when she says she lost her husband, that meant he passed away. But we learn that's not what that means, okay? And so basically Ted is downstairs worried, and so he's like, look, Shanice is like, look, we're going by protocol. She's good. But Ted isn't trying to hear that, right? So Les keeps trying to act like, she's playing hopscotch, right? She keeps trying to act like she's gonna jump. And clearly, in my notes at the time, say that Nicole is not willing to risk her life, basically. And she's like, yeah, girl, can you come back over here? If you it's a long way down. Like, but I like the fact that she kept a healthy distance between her, because I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I think I'll say 25% of us absolutely thought Nicole was going over the ledge of this roof. Maybe it's just me. Again, I've been watching these things for a very long time. I've seen it happen. Just my point. But because this is just starting out, I don't think that they could off Nicole this early on. That would just be distasteful and uncivilized. Okay. So yeah, so finally, Nicole convinces her that she has more life to live, and so she offers to take her back to her office, have some tea. And then this is what I didn't like. So then she grabs her hand and gets her off the ledge. But in my opinion, it could have went totally differently. Okay. So Doug returns. We see Doug in a casino. The young lady that works there lets him know he's no longer in the hole. Randy comes in and Doug thanks him for his help and like introducing him to Joey. He plans to go continue to play so he can make the money back to give to Joey. And Randy's like, yo, just let it go home. You have a legit business, book more appointments. Like, sir, you have other ways of making money. And Doug is like, nah, I'm kind of booked up. And so, no, I just, I need to make this money. Basically, he acting like he got to get this money by tomorrow. But the point is, Doug has a gambling problem. And, so he's going to stay and, try his luck again. And that's how he ended up in the situation as he's in. Okay. Derek meets Ashley at Uptown. Here we go. You already know. If you know, okay. So Ashley tells him that basically Naomi is going through it because Danny was arrested by Jacob, and she feels bad for her friend, and she's worried about what this means for their marriage. Haley walks into Uptown and overhears this conversation because remember, Bill Friday's episode had called Haley and told her to meet him, but I think she was at the spa or she was at dinner. She was off somewhere. And so I guess this is her thinking that she was getting ready to meet up with Bill, or he might still be there. But yeah, so she overhears the conversation and yeah, walks out. And so, like I said, Ashley is just concerned how all of this drama is going to affect Naomi and Jacob. So then we see Jacob walk Danny into the police station. as she's followed by the Duprees. Jacob says that they can wait outside while he processes her, and I ain't even gonna hold you. Shout out to Anita, Mama Dupree. She said, "Don't worry, I'll wait." I loved it. I love it. She didn't really say that. I'm saying that because that's what it was given. Okay. So we see Danny getting fingerprinted and she's over here posing for her mug shots. It was actually pretty cute and funny. But we know she's not taking this seriously at all. So then Smitty and Martin arrive, and Smitty lets him know that there's the reporter is outside who basically has gotten wind of the news. And so Bill shows up to, rub salt in the wound and talk his junk. And Chelsea and Naomi are like, Dad, how could you just one be so petty, but be so cruel after everything that you put our mother through? Now here you are getting her arrested. And Bill lets them know, look, you ain't gotta, don't get on me about that. You need to thank Chelsea. Chelsea was the one that did us the favor by doing the live. And I just feel so bad that they keep that is his child. And the way he just has no problem being like, yeah, you did it. It's on you. That's why your mama getting ready. That's why she getting ready to go to jail. It's just awful. And so this is upsetting Martin. And, he gets up in Bill's face, and it looked like he even wanted to hit Bill or swing on him a little bit. But, of course, Vernon has to remind him. Well, first of all, Bill reminds him like, oh yeah, come on. What was he? House representative? You can catch a charge. You can be another Dupree in the news. And Vernon obviously lets Martin know, like, look, you have too much on the line at risk. So I think that you should chill out, calm down. And even Smitty is basically saying the same thing to him. And so Vernon lets Bill know that basically the charges are going to be dismissed by the end of the night. So he's not really worried about it. And then what I think is really crazy is we see Haley run in, and she's chastising Bill for, playing in her face. Because remember, he told her it's done. He's going to stop antagonizing Danny, stop antagonizing the Duprees. And so she's like, are you still interested in her? Because I don't understand why you're just so invested, and you have a whole new wife at this point. And I ain't even going to hold you. I do not like Haley. I am not saying that I like Haley. However, I had to give Haley her things this episode. She put her foot down, and I thoroughly enjoyed every part of it. I think that we might be sleeping on Haley because we don't see it for her because she's a part of the 4-H club. But she did good. She did good this episode. I like how they're kind of empowering her character. That's the word that I'm looking for. Empowering. So anyway, Haley tells him, look, if you really want me to believe that you are done with this woman, done with antagonizing this family, drop the charges for real this time. Okay. So then we see Eva walk into Uptown, and she basically walks up to Andre and introduces herself. And so he invites her to sit down and have a drink. And she's complimenting Andre. She tells him that how she looked up his Instagram, and and oh, I love all the work. And, they're basically flirting with each other. And I think this is weird because I think a lot of people have speculated that it may be very possible that Ted's brother, who's supposed to be gone, is actually Eva's real father, and that her and Andre might be brother and sister. So this will be very interesting. If that storyline were to play out that way, that would be interesting. And I guess it wouldn't matter, because even if they weren't brother and sister, they would still be cousins, right? But hey, I guess if Danny can do it, why can't he? Anyway, so apparently we see that clearly there's a little spark forming there. And then, she tells him to go over and go say hi, go sit with his friends, because he keeps looking over there at Ashley and Derek. So and then basically we do see him go by. He says hello to Ashley and Derek and interrupts their conversation, and he's all cheesing in Ashley's face. And finally, after all the small talk, he leaves, and as Ashley and Derek are having just a cute little couple moment, I guess you could say. He catches it and he's just in the distance, just pining for Ashley. Who would have thought? All right, so now we see Nicole. She's come back down with Les, aka Sherry, and she plans to take her to her office so they can talk. So Ted is watching suspiciously in the distance when they come off the elevator. And this is when I realized Ted is starting to clock who she is. So remember before we were like, he does not know her. I think I was one of those screaming it from the rooftops. Like, I really don't think he know her. Well, we find out he actually does, but we'll get into that. So Les says that she regrets her decision on the roof and realizes that she's depressed. She then tells Nicole that her husband left her and is living with his new wife. And so Nicole says that, oh, like we all did, we assumed that the man was dead. Okay. And Les says that she just wanted to make her ex-husband pay for leaving her and feels like jumping would have been her winning. And so then they cut and show Ted, who's listening outside the door. Nicole then offers to continue to see Les, but Les declines and says that that would just remind her of her lowest point. So Nicole is completely understanding and offers up a list of recommendations for other therapists that she can, reach out to. And on her way out, Ted confronts her in the hospital. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Okay. All right. So then we see Doug actually does make it out of the casino without losing all his money. He said that it sounds like he made a little bit back of what he lost. But he obviously tells Randy that although he's leaving now, he's absolutely coming back because he needs to make up the rest of his debt, which we know he's probably just going to get deeper in debt because that's how this works. Okay. So then Jacob tells Danny, comes out, lets Danny know the charges have been dropped. Shout out to Haley. Haley apologizes for her pain and, that she's the cause of her pain. I don't like Haley, but I could appreciate whoever wrote this script for this day that actually made her take real accountability. In my opinion, y'all may disagree, and you can do so in the comments. But I feel like I know she said sorry before, but I felt like this time, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I felt it was a little genuine. Okay. So then Anita ushers Danny out before she does anything else because Danny's just looking at this like, first of all, you're the cause of my pain. So no, your apologies don't mean anything to me. And so Jacob asked Naomi basically if he can come home. And Naomi feels like, you could have told me. When we talked earlier, you definitely could have told me, but you didn't trust me in that moment. And so right now, I can't trust you in this moment. I said, I like that, Naomi. Okay. So back at the Dupree home, Anita wants to know where Nicole is. And Martin lets him know that Nicole is stuck at the hospital with the Sherry, Les. But she plans to follow up with Danny later on. Smitty gets on Martin about his anger at the police station and basically him being outraged and almost to a boiling point. And so Martin tells him, look, my grandfather already had this conversation with me. I don't need you to do this. And then we actually see Smitty address Vernon and say, hey, like, I'm really concerned. Did you not see how he went off at the police station? And that doesn't bother you. And Vernon just tries to reassure him that, like, nah, he's good. But again, I forgot who it was. Okay, now I remember. So shout out to Ash Tuck. All right. So she is the one that we've been going back and forth in the comments about Sneaky Smitty, because I think that although he does care about Martin and his husband, we all know that he has his own objective and agenda. And so, yeah, I actually could appreciate Vernon not really feeding into it and going any deeper with him, because I think that even Vernon can kind of clock. And we know Vernon didn't make it this far and is not this successful from being stupid, right? Or naive. So my thought process is he's also clocking Smitty. But yeah, shout out to my girl Ash Tuck. So yeah, Danny compliments Naomi for stepping up as her lawyer. And Naomi is still upset that Jacob decided to put his job over their vows. And I can, I love to play advocate. Although I understand where Danny's coming from, I also understand Jacob's point of view. What was he supposed to do? Honestly, what was he supposed to do? Y'all drop down in the comments. Let me know. Anybody have any alternatives he could have made besides telling her and being upfront? But we know, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think he could have did. Then Ted lets Les know. Okay, so we're getting to the meat and potatoes of today's episode. He lets Les know that he wants her to leave his family alone. We learned that they had an affair and he paid her off. So now there's no denying that he knows her. And clearly it did not happen before Nicole. So I think this is why Les really can hang this over his head, because it happened while he was married. And so look, he's like, what more do you want? I gave you money. Les tells him she wants respect. RESPECT. Damn it. Okay. And Ted tells her to go back to where she came from. And if she comes for Nicole again, look, I got your number. I'll destroy you. All right. And so Les tells him, you got a lot of anger. You should go talk to a therapist about that. I said, this evil bitch. All right. And so, yeah, then Ted leaves her, goes to talk to Nicole. And, obviously he's worried about her, more importantly, worried about what Leslie has just disclosed to her. And obviously Nicole, based off of, confidentiality agreements and things like that, she can't discuss what Leslie has discussed with her, but lets him know that she won't be seeing her as a patient. But however, she did leave the door open. Okay. And possibly Sherry could return. So then we see Les call Eva to spill the tea about her theatrical performance. Again, it was Emmy, Oscar award winning. All right. Eva tells her about her alter ego, Sherry. And so Les is up there bragging about how she spoke with Ted and she pissed him off. And Eva is just in shock and is like, look, you're going too far. And I think, and y'all can debate with me in the comments, but I think that Eva, like I said, really wants this relationship with Ted, especially now that she's like around him and starting to get to know little things about him. And I think she's absolutely afraid that if it's revealed that she has anything to do with Leslie prior to her being able to reveal it, that Ted's not going to mess with her. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I know Ted seems like a stand-up guy and, he's a family man, but he don't know Eva like that. And once he knows she's attached to Crazy, he might not want to, he might write her a check and say, see you later. Nah, I don't see him doing that, but you know what I'm saying? So basically Les is telling her that Ted threatened her and she can't wait till he finds out about Eva. And Eva tells her, can you please stop acting crazy? And, when the time is right, you can get your revenge. Okay. And so then we see Naomi go back home and Jacob is wondering if she's still upset with him. Naomi says that, you basically chose my dad over me. That's how I feel. And so she, gives him a blanket and tells him, you go have a nap or go sleep on the couch, but ain't no love over here. Not tonight. All right. And so then we see Haley, who's going off on Bill once they get back home. And she tells him that, if he wants things to work out between them, then he absolutely needs to stop antagonizing them. And if he does not, then they will be over, because she is over him constantly digging at Danny and he's supposed to be over her. And this is why I say I liked Haley this episode, because she's not as dumb as we think. All right. Chelsea doesn't want to have anything to do with her dad after all of this. And we see Danny basically talking to her and telling her, look, I understand your dad is an asshole. However, I would like it if you establish your own relationship with your father and not base it off of how he's treating me, which I could appreciate, because it obviously takes a bigger person to do that. So Anita tells Danny that, she's proud of her, and Danny thinks that, this is where the whole thing went left for me, y'all. Danny feels that because Bill is still poking at her, and but because he dropped the charges, even though Anita has to remind her, no, sweetie, that was Haley. Bill would have burnt you to the ground if he could have. Bill wouldn't have spit on you if you were on fire. That was Haley. However, Danny, and we just got to call a thing a thing. Danny, we're going to start calling her Danny delusional because that's what it is. It's delusion, in my opinion. So she believes that no, this is his way of getting back to her. And so, and she admits that she still loves this miserable, horrible man, and that she would still take him back after all of this. I wish I had a mic to drop. That was the episode, y'all. Danny is playing in our face. But yeah, do I think Bill likes annoying her? Absolutely. But it reminds me, for those that are young in the restless heads, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not Nikki, Victor Newman and Nikki all over again? And he go cheat or marry somebody else, and then she might mess with Jack or mess with somebody for a little while, but they always end up back together. Is this what they about to do with us? Y'all let me know what you think. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all being here and tuning in to episode 11 of Beyond the Gates. All right. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you've hit that like button. Make sure that you comment. Make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And yeah, make sure you're following us on all the platforms. You see it there at the bottom. Follow us on the Blue Sky, the TikTok, the IG, and the Facebook. And yeah, we will catch you. Well, I will catch you tomorrow for episode 12 of Beyond the Gates. Have a good day.